That was the sneakiest, most conniving, smartest move I think I've ever seen here on the O.R.C. All right? Just so you're prepared. Roar! What's up? Welcome back to the 2024 Off-Road Challenge, aka the O.R.C, aka the O.R.C. My name's Dan, and today we are wrapping up round number 1 of eliminations of this year's Off-Road Challenge. Let's get right to the action and meet the drivers for heat number 1. Kicking things off today, it's, I must say, a pretty cool looking matchup. We got Darren Lindquist in the twin turbo Nissan Patrol taking on Dad Joke Dave in the 1973 Jeep J10 race truck. There's a couple die-casts here that you could really elevate with a little bit of paint. Traction boards, fire extinguishers, jack, lights on this one. Cool engine coming through the hood on this one. 2 turbos there on this side. Just a couple of mean looking retro units. Hopefully you know the deal by now, but in case you don't, this is an off-road challenge, not strictly a race, okay? The track is divided into different zones worth different points. Whoever stops in the zone worth the most points wins. If you fall right off the end of the track, you lose a point. It's just that simple. A perfect run is worth 7, and a tie goes to whoever crossed the line first. All right, here we go. Darren Lindquist versus Dad Joke Dave. Oh, Dad Joke Dave is on his roof, and Darren Lindquist is gonna take the W here in Heat 1. 5 points for the win. And here comes the safety crew. Oh my goodness, you guys, you went right past him. Well, perfect run though. Oh, just the worst safety team ever. Just flying right by the guy upside down. Anyway, let's go back to that race. Check out the replay. Those twin turbos gave Darren all the boost on the start line. He jumped out to an early lead and he never looked back. It wasn't a perfect run, but it didn't need to be. His opponent flipped over. So 5 points was enough for Darren to take the win and move on to round number 2. Interestingly, they both hit the same nail at the 2-point line, and it sent them both into the outside wall. Dave just couldn't recover. Lost control there, and the outside wall ended up flipping him over. So that's really too bad. Dad Joke Dave, one of the best commenters here on the show. If you check out the comment section, he always lives up to his name, Dad Joke Dave. So if you want some nice, cringy dad humor, check out the comments section, and Dad Joke Dave will not disappoint you. But unfortunately, he is out of this year's O.R.C. We will see him, however, in the Unlimited race later this year. But for now, Dave, you're done. Darren Lindquist takes the W, and the Nissan Patrol is headed up to round 2. All right, next up, it's a Ford Bronco battle. We got yours truly, Dan Elliott, in the Fun Haver modern day Bronco, taking on my boss, Jonathan Henson, in the throwback custom Ford Bronco. Now I know winning a race against my boss on the track might not serve me well at the workplace. However, I'm on paternity leave right now, brother, so hey, I ain't holding back. Whew. All right, I can feel the adrenaline pumping through my veins. Here we go. Bronco versus Bronco. The RTR is out to the lead. Oh, no! Oh, I crossed the finish line first, but I fell off the end of the track. Veteran competitor Jonathan Henson steals the victory from me. Oh, I love this thing so much. It's just too fast. It's just too fast, and then it can't stop. Old school defeats new school. Let's check out the replay. Okay, I just watched the replay. That's how this works. I watch the replay, then I talk about it while you watch the replay. And that was the sneakiest, most conniving, smartest move I think I've ever seen here on the O.R.C. All right? Just so you're prepared for this replay, okay? So here we go. Good start for both of us, okay? My RTR Bronco looking fast, flying down the track. Probably picking up too much speed, all right? But I know how this works. You gotta stop in the end zone or you'll lose a point. So I start slowing down, you know, a little after the 4-point line. Now here comes Jonathan with more speed than me. looks like he's gonna pass me to try and take the tiebreaker, right? Cross that line first, but instead, he steers back towards me, runs right into the back of me, hits me on the spare tire, gives me a speed boost, and now I'm going too fast and I can't stop. It also effectively slowed him down a little bit, and he rolls this big old thing into the end zone for a perfect 7. And that is it for the RTR Bronco for this competition. I'm done. That was an upset. He's the 44 seed and I'm the 21. It feels kind of like I choked, but really I just met my match. I got beat. I just got beat. Let's go to heat 3 before I just start pouting and whining. All right, this is some kind of matchup here for heat 3. This is the 31 against the 34. Blast Rocket Aviation in the Volvo XC40 taking on Gerald Lang and Daisy the Cat in the Land Rover Series 3 pickup. And I just realized I forgot to hang the fossil fuels billboard. And if we got an electric car racing, we got to put the fossil fuel billboard up, brother. Yeah, that's way better. All right, here we go. Blast Rocket in the near lane. Gerald and Daisy in the far lane. Wow, lightning quick start for Gerald and Daisy, but here comes the Volvo. It is not gonna be enough. Gerald Lang and Daisy the Cat with 5 points, but crossing the line ahead of Blast Rocket. Take the victory and move on to round number 2. Let's check out that replay. That was a good race. Picture perfect start for Gerald and Daisy there. I don't know if he's got a transmission brake in that old Land Rover or what, but he flew off the line. And against an electric vehicle, nonetheless, they're usually, you know, they can get up and go, those things. And from there, it was just a really good race. Both drivers driving from side to side, you know, dodging the bumps in the road. And the Volvo had the speed coming towards the end. They both got into this rotten hole here at the 5-point line. And if it hadn't been for that, I think the Volvo probably had the speed to get all the way across the next checkpoint. But unfortunately, Blast Rocket Aviation lost control there and put it into the wall. Gerald crossed the line first, so he takes the win. So Blast Rocket Aviation, thanks for coming out, but I'm afraid you're done. We'll see you in the Weekender event. I think that's what class this is in. And Daisy the Cat and her human, Gerald Lang. Moving on to round 2. All right, our next race is the second to lowest seed, number 47, Team E67 Diecast Racing in the Baja Bandit, taking on the number 18, Jessica Wigney and Laura Fink in the Jeep Wrangler. All right, here we go. It's Bandit versus Jeep. Oh, big lead for the Wrangler. Flying down the track right off the end. It's more than enough to take the win. Team E67 stalling out here before the 2-point line, settling for one measly little point. Let's go to the replay. Jessica and Laura got a good start, and then they never looked back. That Wrangler was just flying, and pretty early on we could tell something was wrong with the Bandit. They were off the frame and never came back into the picture, I'm afraid. Jessica and Laura, they tried to slow down that Wrangler towards the end, rubbing on the wall a little bit here and there, and they were going slow through the end zone, but they weren't able to stop. So that's a 6-point run, but it's way more than enough to take the win. The Wrangler moves on to round number 2. E67, I'm afraid you're done. 4 now, but we will see the Bandit again in the Unlimited race later on. All right, our next race of the day is Calvin Nicholson in the Holly Toyota Tacoma race truck, taking on Cameron Slater in the Chevy K5 Blazer. Both of Cameron's brothers, Kyle and Graham, are already up in round 2. Let's see if their brother can join them. All right, who you got, the Toyota race truck or the retro Blazer? Here we go, Cameron versus Calvin. Cameron pulls up to the lead and rolls over back onto his wheels. I don't know what to say. I need to see that again. Oh man, that was such an awesome race. So Calvin took the lead out of the gate, which is kind of to be expected, right? I mean, he's in a Toyota Desert Racer truck. The thing is tuned to perfection with all that Holly equipment in it. It should beat the Blazer off the line, okay? Then they're flying down the track. The Blazer's looking nice and steady. Calvin's truck, he chose a rough line. Like, yeah, I know he started in that far lane, and it just seemed rougher, but it handled the bumps really well, actually. Like, you can see it bouncing, but it's holding its line nice and straight. It's a really good run. There's no other way to slice it. It's just a really good run. Cameron, on the other hand, chose a smoother lane, dodged the bumps a little better. Then he gets ahead of his opponent, so naturally he's going to try to block him. So he pulls over to Calvin's side of the course and blocks a little early, but hey, he crosses that number 5 line first. Then he rolls all the way over, barrel roll, back onto his wheels, and then just for good measure, blocks him again, just in case Calvin still had the momentum to cross the next checkpoint for another, for a higher score. So in what was one of the most entertaining races of the tournament so far, Cameron Slater joins his brothers up in round 2. Calvin Nicholson, I'm afraid you're done, but we'll see the Toyota again in the pro race. All right, next up, we've got Steven Leishman of Stevo's Reviews in the Hummer EV taking on one of my favorite drivers to watch this year in the O.R.C. It's Jay Bowe from Dog Squab Racing. That blue Bronco, it seems like every time it takes to the track, it does something exciting. All right, let's just recap real quick, shall we? Oh, I love it. But listen, we're in eliminations now, Jay, okay? So I appreciate the excitement. Try and keep all 4 wheels on the ground. Maybe you can keep moving up in the tournament. All right, a couple of modern day off-road units taken to the track. Here comes the blue Bronco, and Jay Bowe just makes it look easy rolling to a perfect 7, taking the win. And I don't know if I got it on camera, but Stevo, unfortunately, is upside down. And actually, he lives in Australia, so he is upside down. Relative to where I am right now, he's upside down. Good one, right? Funny. Oh no, here comes the safety crew. Let's see if they can get their act together this time. Hey, good work, guys. Wow, they actually stopped right at the scene of the accident. I knew I got a good deal on that off-road airport fire truck rescue vehicle thing. Well, they make sure Stevo's all right. Let's check out that replay. So pretty much a perfect run here for Jay Bowe. Getting to the finish line quick, stopping in the end zone. He made it look easy, all right? It's almost like he did all those crashes and flips in the qualifying round just for fun, just for our entertainment. And now that the chips are down and he's in an elimination race, he's just gonna drive it and good, drive it good and do good and win, and wow. So Stevo, I'm afraid you're done. Oh wow, look, skateboard didn't even fall out of the back of that thing. Wow. Stevo, we will see you in the Weekender event down the road. Thank you for coming out, but I'm afraid you're done. And Dog Squab Racing takes that Bronco into round 2, where I couldn't take my Bronco. All right, next up, it's an all Dodge battle. It's Kai Miguel of Kai's World Racing in the Ram Rebel taking on Mr. Fossil Fuels himself, Jesse Moxham, in the 1970 Power Wagon. I can't help myself. Let's run that classic old fake commercial once again, Jesse.
Fossil fuel! It's still legal!
Fossil fuels, brother, they're still legal. For now, I tell you, we are putting that on a t-shirt someday. And we're gonna sell a pile of them. All right, here we go. Power Wagon versus Rebel. Power Wagon is out to the lead, but he rolls over. Kai Miguel crashes into him. Oh no. You know what that means. Here they come. Safety crew. Oh, not your best work, guys. At least you're here at the scene of the accident. You You hit Kai pretty hard though. Ooh, okay, well, while they sort through the damage, let's check out that replay and see what happened. So, quick start for the Power Wagon, and he was looking pretty good, but then unfortunately, he lost the tail end there just after the 3-point line, nosed it into the wall, and then caught the outside edge of those tires, flipped over, and then Kai Miguel comes sailing in, crashes into him, and doesn't have the momentum to carry himself past the next checkpoint. So even though he's upside down, Jesse Moxham takes the win. They're both in the 3-point zone, and Jesse crossed the line first, right in front of his billboard. So he's moving on to round number 2. Kai, I'm afraid you're done, but we'll see you again at the Weekender truck meet. All right, next up we have one of the funniest coincidences when it comes to driver names. The Volkswagen Baja Bug is driven by this little piggy for Angry Bacon Racing, and the Toyota Tundra is driven by Mally Butcher. That's right, we have a butcher against a little piggy. I mean, I don't want to root for one driver over the other, but like, you can't help but feeling a little bit bad for this little piggy. But on the other hand, when butchers and pigs interact, tasty things tend to happen. Things like bacon and pulled pork, smoked ham. Is it lunchtime yet? All right, here we go. Could be the yummiest matchup of the day. The Tundra is out to the lead. Here comes the Baja Bug, but the Tundra stops in the end zone for the perfect run. This little piggy does too, but the tiebreaker goes to the butcher. All right, let's check out the replay. So the Tundra beats the Volkswagen on the start line, and that was the race. Both drivers did an excellent job after that. The start really was the main difference. Both handled the bumps well, both kept it pointed straight, and both stopped in the end zone. Mally Butcher crossed the finish line first, so he takes the win, and unfortunately, Angry Bacon Racing has been eliminated after a perfect run. It's gotta be a hard one to swallow. Sometimes you do everything right and you still just end up on the chopping block. All right, I'm done. We'll see Angry Bacon Racing again in the unlimited race, and Mally Butcher we'll see in round 2. I just realized that was quite the upset. Mally Butcher is the number 46 seed, just defeated this little piggy who was number 19. Oh, we got another Cinderella story in the making. All right, we have only 2 races to go. This is Jared Ayton in the Jeep Wagoneer taking on Lindsay Roberts in the Mercedes-Benz Unimog 1300. Full disclosure, this is a different day. I completely messed up this race yesterday, so I'm shooting it again, but we got the same result. Don't be fooled by the fact that I put the same shirt on again. All right, here we go. Lindsay versus Jared. Door to door. Oh, the Mercedes is... I am speechless. I do not know what we just saw. What a race. Let's go to the replay. This is quite the race, okay? Jared gets the slightly better start, but then Lindsay has the speed to pull into the lead until the 3-point line where she hits a big bump, sends that Unimog up in the air, rolls it over, but then winds up back on her wheels. At this point, Jared has slowed down, just waiting for the wreck to, wrap up, thinking all I need to do is get past one more line and I've got this thing won. Little does he know, Lindsay has the presence of mind to put the Unimog in reverse, keep it rolling, and now Jared's playing catch up, all right? Lindsay, I thought she had it. I thought she recovered for the win, but Jared puts the hammer down, beats her across the finish line. They both stop in the end zone for perfect runs, but the tiebreaker goes to the Jeep. So same winner as the first time I recorded it, but way more entertaining that time around. So that worked out well. Thanks, guys. I'm sorry, Lindsay, but I'm afraid you're done. Thanks for that awesome race. And Jared Ayton moves on to round number 2. We'll put Lindsay right up here with her husband, Justin, so they can, console each other. All right, for the final race of round 1, it's another Bronco versus Bronco matchup. This is Matt from Trackwork Orange in the Borla exhaust Bronco R, taking on Andrew Nicholson in the not really stock, but more stock than the other one, 2021 Ford Bronco. All right, one more Bronco will move up to round 2. Who is it gonna be? The Bronco R gonna have pretty much a bye run here in round number 1, rolling to a perfect 7 points nonetheless. I don't know what happened to Andrew. Looks like maybe he had a tire go down and that forced him into the wall. Big letdown for Andrew Nicholson. Let's go to the replay. I think that's got to be a mechanical failure of some sort. Immediately out of the gate, took a hard left into the wall, and that was it. From that moment on, it was basically just a practice session for Matt, who took the W, no sweat. Andrew, you're done for now, but we'll see you in the scramble. Hopefully you can get this Bronco back into race condition by then. And Trackwork Orange moves on in the Bronco R up to round number 2. All right, round number 1 is in the books, so let's take a sneak peek at round 2 and see how all the matchups ended up shaking out. All right, here we go, round 2. Oh my goodness, Brandon Coulter versus his son Troy. The number 1 taking on the 32. Oh, and then we got Graham Slater against Kyle Slater. What's with the family matchups? All right, then we got Broke Benny against Bobby Carpenter. Katie Elliott is taking on Trevor Adkins. That's a rematch from the qualifying rounds. Mustafa and Yara are against Finnegan James. Mohammed bin Salman taking on Guillaume. Tony from Mystic Archives is against Darren Lindquist. Lily the Dog racing against Jonathan Henson. LT versus Gerald Lang. Defending champ Charity Elliott is racing against Jessica and Laura. Josh Jensen is racing Cameron Slater. That's Cybertruck versus Blazer. Aaron Wigney versus Jay Bow. I like that matchup right there. Diesel Dale is taking on Jesse Moxham. What in the world? Diesel Dale versus Fossil Fuel Jesse. It doesn't get much better than that. Then we got Greg B against Mally Butcher. Titan Thunder is taking on Jared Ayton. And finally, Alan G taking on Matt. So White Rock Diecast versus Trackwork Orange. Oh man, so many good matchups heading your way in round 2. Oh, I can't wait to run those races. Unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to these drivers for now, but we will see them again. Andrew will be part of the scramble. Stephen Leishman, Kai Miguel, myself, and Blast Rocket Aviation will all be in the Weekender truck meet. Calvin Nicholson and Dad Joke Dave are in the Pro Series. Then we got Team E67, Angry Bacon Racing, and Lindsay Roberts, all part of the Unlimited class. All those events are down the road. We're going to wrap up the O.R.C here first, and then I'll figure those ones all out at a later date. I'm just hoping everybody can find a little bit of comfort in the fact that, you know, they have another race to look forward to. Just because they lost in the first round of the O.R.C doesn't mean they're totally done. They are going to see their cars again. Plus, it's a chance to experiment a little bit. I'm going to make all these events unique. I've got some ideas for some obstacles, some different racing formats, all revolving around off-road racing, which is not really such a common part of the diecast racing hobby, you know. These videos seem to be doing pretty well for me, and I'm gonna keep experimenting. But the Speedway's still here too, and I'm itching to do some Speedway racing, so we're probably gonna do that, you know, pretty soon here, maybe even before we wrap up the O.R.C. I don't know, I'm just going with the flow. If I have a chance to film some races, but it's dark outside, then I'll come in here and we'll do some Speedway racing. But that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, Jesus loves you, so do I, and I'll see you next time right here on Race 164.